the first step to evolve yourself and to find out your purpose. Without doing introspection, we won't be able to move forward. Right? So we will take further steps which can help us to find out our why or maybe our purpose of the life. And before we go into that further stages, I would like to invite our G Toastmaster Vivek Agrawal. He don't require any introduction. You know that he has given us the target of making GTMC as winning that Hall of Fame award. Hall of Fame award, right? So this is what his introduction is. And when I asked that what is the purpose of his life, then he shared first one quote from Mark Twain. The two most important days in life are the day when you born and the day when you find your wife. And second, he shared that to touch the lives of people and serve the country through my ideas and my work. By profession, he is country manager in Petrofac India, and he loves to deal with large scale of projects. So Toastmaster Vivek Agrawal as General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster already. Thank you. Best things in life are free. Think of this life itself has come for free. This body, friendship, love, relationships, even air, what we breathe, nothing is charged to us. Even the nature, weathers, everything, all things which make us survive, which make us successful, which make us best of the best, they are all free. Likewise, in Toastmasters Club, feedback is free. As Anne Marie said, feedback is free education towards excellence. Feedback is free education towards excellence. Seek it with sincerity and accept it with grace. Further, feedback is also like a compass for greatness. It tells us what to avoid, what to learn, and where to excel. In every Toastmasters meeting, we evaluate each speech and the role player so that we can improve in the next meeting. Good morning, fellow members and distinguished guests. Today, as General Evaluator, I will be watching every moment of the meeting, every proceeding of the meeting, what is going good and where we can improve further. Where I will be taking comprehensive notes on every aspect of the meeting, what is going on, whatever is not going on. Towards the end, I will present my report, and I will not be doing this alone. I am supported by 7 very capable evaluators, 3 speech evaluators, Toastmaster Sriram, Toastmaster Ajay, and Toastmaster Midun. I am also supported by 4 auxiliary players. I will introduce them in a while. I also have a request to each of you. Please take notes, use pen and paper, whatever is going on, because this will help you to learn. Remember that the faintest ink is far, far stronger than the finest of the memories. This will help you in 3 ways. It will help you to boost your memory. It will help you to learn something from today's meeting. You are investing 2 hours time. You should carry some key takeaways. And it will also help you when the voting comes, you will be able to make a judicious choice who is the best role player. So this is my request to you. We are all evaluators. In our life also, when I am doing something, silently, other person, the world is evaluating me. This is a very universal process. And no relationship works without evaluation or without feedback. So now it's a time to introduce my auxiliary team. I take immense pleasure to invite first auxiliary role player, Toastmaster Mohit. Toastmaster Mohit, he is playing the role of timer. Let's welcome Toastmaster Mohit with a huge round of applause.
Timer. Day before yesterday, I was watching a movie. That movie was Chandu Champion. Have you watched that movie?
Yes.
In 1972 Paralympics, he was about to qualify for that race, for the final, for the semi-finals. And for that, he has to come up on the 4th rank, beating the person who was already on the 4th rank. Any idea what was his timing for that race? For that time? So Multika Pelkar, he reached that 4th position. He was qualified for that race, and his timing was 42.27 seconds. And his opponents who came for 5th position, Roger Bates, he came his timing was 42.28 seconds. Just a difference of 0.01 second. That was the importance of timing in Olympics. And similarly here at Toastmasters, the importance of timings is equal. Day before yesterday, as I already mentioned, we witnessed some of the world speakers. The timing for those speeches was 5 to 7 minutes. And today the speakers here in Toastmasters, we have the Toastmasters meeting, we have the timing for the same. Prepared speakers, they have 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes, they will see this green card. 6th minute, they will see this yellow card. And at 7th minute, they will see this red card. And today we have this Toastmaster Amit who will be delivering his ice-breaking speech. For him, the timing will be 4 to 6 minutes. So Amit, you will see green card at the 4th minute, yellow card at 5th, and red card at the 6th minute. For table topic speeches, the time limit is 1 to 2 minutes. And for the evaluations section, the evaluators have a time limit of 2 to 3 minutes. So again, at 2nd minute, green card, 2.5 minutes yellow card, and 3rd minute, this red card. But unlike that Olympics, as you already know, Toastmasters is a practice ground and not a final result. Here you practice your speeches. Here you practice to come up on stage and deliver speeches. So you get 30 seconds as grace period for prepared speeches, for table topics, and even evaluations. So you are free to use that period, but try to be within the time limit. I'll come up with my report at the end of the meeting whenever called by the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit, for nicely explaining your work. Thank you. So we start with time and we will end our report with time. That's why I called timer first. Okay, let's have our counter, Toastmaster Vishwajit, please welcome him with a huge round of applause. Toastmaster Vishwajit, our counter, Toastmaster Vishwajit. Please.
Thanks, Toastmaster Vivek. These are the typical filler words, meaningless interjections or crutch words, as we say, that we use while speaking. And these create unnecessary distraction for the listeners, and at times it projects a not so confident image in front of the audience. I have been given this feedback time and again that I use these filler words a lot. So this topic is very close to my heart. As a counter, I would be making an active note of all these filler words and interjections which the speakers would be using, and I will share a detailed evaluation at the end of the meeting. I hope that this will help all the speakers in getting an idea of where they lie and to help themselves go further in their self-improvement journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vishal. Thank you. So in our counter, just to supplement what Toastmaster Vishwajit said, yeah, this aha is correct, but there are some repeated words also, phrases also, like so and, which are also like repeatedly a speaker is using. That also is part of, you will be evaluating that. With that, now let me invite grammarian for the day. Our grammarian for the day is Toastmaster Sunny. Let's welcome Toastmaster Sunny with a huge round of applause. Toastmaster Sunny, grammarian Toastmaster Sunny.
Good morning, everyone. So, I will be the grammarian of today's meeting. Before that, I wanted to tell you the word of the day and idiom of the day because I'm going to use those in my current talk. So, word of the day is inscrutable. That means difficult to understand or interpret. That also means mysterious. Example sentences are: his inscrutable smile made it impossible to guess what he is thinking. The detective found the motive of the suspect to be inscrutable, making it difficult to crack the case. Idiom of the day: finger on the pulse. Example sentences are: to be fully informed and up to date about something. Example sentence: I do not have my finger on the pulse of the tech industry, or he is always had his finger on the pulse of the music scene. So, in today's meeting, I will be having my finger on the pulse of all the grammar or the languages which these speakers are using on the stage or in their speeches. I will be also be noting down all the outstanding words, quotes, saying or thoughts over here, and I'm gonna recall all those in my report. Whoever is using the thumbs of the word of the day, we will show him the thumbs up. Whoever is using the idiom of the day, we're gonna show the victory sign. That's all from my side. I hope I'm gonna find a good uses of the word today and gonna see lots of idioms and the word of the day being used by the speakers over here.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Now it's time to invite body language evaluator. Today we have distinguished Toastmaster Rishi, who is playing the role of body language evaluator. Let's welcome distinguished Toastmaster Rishi with a huge round of applause so that he can explain his Toastmaster Rishi, body language evaluator.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. As body language evaluator, my role is to look at the body language here on the stage for all the speakers. What does it mean to have a body language? Is to be able to notice your unintentional and intentional movements, from the meaningless and purposeless movements to the purposeful movements. Because a speaker can use body movement to be able to emphasize a certain message. I need to identify the good and not so good uses of those movements here on the stage. What does it mean to look at body language? It is your eye contact, it is your gestures, it is your movements on the stage, and everything else that you are portraying through your non-verbal communication. At the end of this meeting, I will present my report. And I would like to read a quote from Afrojack regarding body language. It says that people need realness, reality, because they can sense the fakeness or pretentious nature of any person, because you can see it and you can feel it in the body language of the person. As a speaker, as we strive for genuinity, as a Toastmaster, we try and enforce it through the body language report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishi. So with that, friends, I finish the introduction section of our evaluators team. Once called upon by Toastmaster of the day towards the evaluation section, I will come and present my report. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Akia.
Toastmaster Vivek. So we will be in the journey of the purpose of life. But before we go in that details, let's start our first section of the meeting, that is known as prepared speech section. So for this, we'll start with the speaker 2, right? And for that, I would like to call evaluator 2, Toastmaster Mithun, on the stage to share the objective of Toastmaster Amit Singh Pingal speech, and that is what is going to be an icebreaker for him.
Very good morning to everyone present here. And I'm Toastmaster Mithun, and I'll be evaluating Amit on his icebreaker speech. His pathway is presentation mastery, and he's taken up the topic. This is one of the questions we all have, or being the Olympic season, still the question is running out early. Why is India falling short to get more medals and achieve excellence in the world stage? And here, Toastmaster Amit is trying to keep his finger on the pulse and to give us the answer for that question. And his timings will be 5 to 7 minutes. Timer, please take note of it. And since it's an icebreaker speech, at the end of the speech, I request all of you to give a standing ovation. And all the best for him. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mithun. So, Toastmaster Amit Singhal belongs to Uttarakhand, currently working in sales domain in KEI Industries Limited. He is a sports enthusiast and he loves with love for humor and keen interest in news. So when I asked that what is his purpose of his life, he said that the purpose of my life is to continuously grow, learn and make a positive impact on the world around me. I aim to build meaningful connections and contribute to society. My journey has to be about continuous learning by staying curious and passionate and spreading kindness in every aspect of life. Toastmaster Amit Singh Pingal. Toastmaster Amit Singh Pingal, why do we fall short? Why do we fall short in Olympic? Toastmaster Amit Singh Pingal.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for the introduction. Hello everyone, good morning. In the recent Paris Olympics, India was ranked 71st in the medal tally out of the 84 countries that won the medal. And the crazy part about the medal tally is that we have won only 41 medals in the history of 124 years of Olympics. And if we compare with the China, they won in the recent Paris Olympics 92 medals. So if I ask any person who is sitting here or outside who follows the sport that why he doesn't perform well in the Olympics, I would get 3 possible reasons. The one would be they would blame the athletes who are performing themselves in the Olympics. Second, they would blame the society or the government official or sports federation or politician who didn't provided the necessary support for this infrastructure or for the Olympics. But as the report from the India Today, it says that we got a funding of 470 crore for this Paris Olympics. I think this doesn't work out for this time. And the final would be they would blame to the society who discourages children from pursuing career in sports. So I most of these points, these are some of the valid reasons. But there is one other reason that the problem is actually lies us. We as a viewers, we doesn't watch sports very sportingly. So many would say that we only watch one sport, which is cricket, but that's not entirely true either. For example, if I say that many a times we love cricket as a sport, but we also love the drama which comes along with it, right? For example, if I say many of us only watch the India's batting, we skip the bowling part, right? It means that we are watching cricket from the one perspective, but ignoring the other one. This is not a good mark of a society who is following the sports. Or if I say another example, for example, 2011 World Cup, we know about all that debate which goes with Mahi and Gauti, but many of us don't even remember how many runs MS Dhoni made or who was the man of the match, like Gautam Gambhir. And this fellow, Zaid Khan, the amazing bowling spell, nobody talks about, or even a spin. So this is the problem which is in our Indian society. So how can a sports grow in a country? So there are three possible ways and sports can grow in a society. One is any landmark event can happen in a sports. For example, 1983 World Cup. It changed the game for the cricket. Or second, an individual athlete who can do unimaginable, extraordinary in the sports. For example, Neeraj Chopra. We talk about the javelin throw now. And third would be that any increase in viewership will bring that growth for any sports. Because we have to understand that fundamentally sports is a show business. Anything which has the hype and attention in the growth for any sports. I have another data to say that these are some of the top leagues from the per match cost all over the world. You can see actually the number 2. But I want you to focus on number 1, 4th and 5th. These are the American football, Major League Baseball and National Ice Hockey. The common thing about this is that this is from the single country, which is US. So what does it mean? They have a diversified viewers. People love to watch multiple sports because a different sport they are watching and sports are doing. And I think this is one of the reasons why they are consistent performer in the Olympics. In India, we have these 4 leagues, Pro Kabaddi, Indian Super League, UTT, Kho-Kho. But I think many of us doesn't even know these about the leagues. Because I believe the problem, actually, these are very localized sports and we as an Indian believe that, okay, we want to prove towards the world, we love competing in the world level. But in US, there are baseball, basketball, ice hockey, these are multiple shows which people are watching. So I have to say that in the end that athletes are the professionals. So professionalism in the sports only come when the sports is considered important, right? Because anything which is more hyped, more attention will bring the money, will deliver the growth. For example, 1983 World Cup changed the game for the cricket, and I believe any landmark thing which has a possibility will again bring the more growth to us. So in the end, the point is that we should watch more sports. We need to understand that we have to feel proud of our local achievement. We have to understand these are some of the games. We have to watch multiple sports so that the sports can grow. If the sports can grow financially, athlete will grow and the infrastructure automatically come and people will start watching. And this is the reason we should be in the future year, we will be in the top of the game. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for wonderful informations and sharing your thoughts on this folks. Thank you. So one of the reasons why we are not winning is that we do not have purpose, right? And if we have purpose, like Madhu Bhaskar now, just look into her life that she had gone through a lot of things, but she was clear on her purpose, that what I want to achieve. That may be one of the reasons which I can add to your speech, right? So now let us come to the second speech, and second speaker would be Toastmaster Bhavesh. And before I call Toastmaster Bhavesh, I would like to call Toastmaster Ajay Mehraji for sharing his speech evaluation or maybe objective.
Thank you. I'm here to evaluate Bhavesh today, which is quite an honor because I've been hearing him talk with a great velocity with words, with a lot of topics and thoughts of his. So it'd be an enjoyable fact to evaluate him. He is been, ever since I've seen him in Toastmasters, been galloping on the ladder of the shaft where the track records are being placed. So he's doing well on that. And it'd be my honor and privilege to evaluate you on your content, your speech, and as you had said, it's called happenstance. It may be a different world for a lot of people, but at the end of his talk, it won't be inscrutable anymore. Welcome.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ajay Maharaji. So, Toastmaster Bhavesh is graduated in physics and masters in computer science, studied, worked, and lived in England, Netherlands, Sweden, New Zealand for a decade. Left everything and came back to India to pursue what his purpose is. Today, he is contemporary artist and a mind healer, hypnotherapist. Hypnotherapist. Okay. And when I asked that what is his purpose in his life is, so he said, I believe there is no other purpose in the life than finding your own essence. There are situations in life, are mechanisms, and all those emotions, tools to help us find ourselves. I believe through all that we encounter, we get closer to finding out the ultimate, unlimited, unified truth that encompasses all of us. So welcome Toastmaster Bhavesh, and Toastmaster Bhavesh happenstances.
Happenstance.
It's very difficult for me to even speak. Toastmaster Bhavesh.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I was watching this movie, and 15 minutes down in the movie, the screen froze, and the first character was introduced. I was like, whoa. I continued the movie. In about half an hour or maybe an hour from then, the screen froze again, and they introduced the second character. Now, mind you, I'm telling you about this guy, myself, who is an avid movie buff. I've watched international cinema. I'm not talking about movies. Spanish, Mexican, Portuguese, all kinds of movies that I used to watch. And I'm seeing this first time in Indian cinema. What I had to do was obvious. I paused the movie in between and I went on to Google to search for who this guy is who directed this movie, Dev D. The result was that it is Anurag Kashyap. Okay? What about this guy? I've heard about this guy. I want to watch what else has he directed. So I went on to Google. I looked for all the movies that he had created, and in the course of next few weeks, I watched every interview that this guy had done, every article about him, every movie that he had directed, written, or even spoken about. The movies that inspired him, just like Bicycle Thieves. I studied them all. This continued for many months until I actually watched another movie of his, that was Gangs of Wasseypur. And I can tell you this, I was obsessed. Now, having watched Gangs of Wasseypur, I was intrigued to search for this movie, how this movie was being made, how he composed all the team together, where was it shot, the whole story behind it, the screenplay, everything. I studied all of that. While I was studying all of this in the course of next few weeks, I stumbled across another video where Anurag Kashyap was coming out of a premiere show, and somebody had stopped in between asking for what was his review about the movie, and he said, as Indian directors, we should be ashamed after watching this movie. I can't call myself an Indian director. After watching this movie, we should learn from this guy. And I was like, this guy? Anurag Kashyap is talking about someone else as being this guy? I have to look for him. So I searched out who this guy is and what the movie is. And this guy is Anand Gandhi. the writer behind Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi and Kahani Ghar Ghar Ki, and he had written a movie which was Ship of Theseus. Now, can you imagine what I did? I had to look for this movie. So I searched all over the internet to find this movie. Only 2 trailers were available on YouTube. And trust me, I searched every torrent on the face of the planet to find this movie because I was obsessed. It took me 6 months to find this movie, to be able to watch this movie. And you know what I did in the last 6 months? I studied about this concept, everything about what is talked about, how it has been played, how it has been screened, what the visuals were like, what is the story behind it, everybody, the discussions on the forums about this movie, the afterwards, everything I watched. And while I was doing that, I got to know that it is a philosophical paradox, Ship of Theseus. Now I had to look for it. So I went on to Google and searched for another thing. That was, what is the concept behind Ship of Theseus? And I found a PDF, obviously, now you know that I read through it. And when I read through it, once I was finished, I looked at the address bar where it was actually being hosted on a university website. And in those days, if you remove the last file name, you actually jump onto the folder structure where all the files are kept. I went on to the folder structure. And there were hundreds of philosophical concepts in PDF format which were there. Now, by now, you know what I did. I skimmed through all of the PDFs, and by the end of it, it took me a few months, by the end of it, I was a philosopher. Alright. Now you know that I am a contemporary artist. All the body of works that I've been creating in the past few years do have this concept ingrained within it. And also, from my early childhood, I was very much interested into spirituality. This philosophical concept brought me to energy psychology, which I do as a therapist. People continue to ask me, whenever I put my works in the gallery or in any of the international shows, they ask me, what is the concept behind your work? And I'm like, whenever I'm starting to talk about it, like, some of them say, what a weirdo. And some of them say, whoa man, that's deep. Even last year, when I went to my school reunion, and they were like, Bhavesh, you were from non-media. I remember you were a science guy. How come you got into arts? That must be a fascinating story. And I start to open my mouth, and the term is slack-jawed, which means their mouth is wide open like a football field. I had to literally shut their eyes off with my hands because I was scared that they might pop off. So my story, what is the reason behind all of this, what I've been telling you? All I want to leave you with is to tell you that life is not linear. It is explorative. And I have something for you, if I can find. 1 second. Oh, no, I can't. Imagine this is a seed. Now within my hand is a seed, but it has inherent in it a potential to become a forest. So what I want to say to you, and what I want to leave you with, no matter how minuscule, how minute, a smaller thing it is, it does have the potential to become a massive, life-changing event. And that is happenstance, my friends.
Thank you, Mr. Bhavesh, for sharing your happenstance, right?
Happenstance.
Happenstance. I have heard about circumstance, but I am listening this first time. So we are, we make our limited maybe beliefs with circumstances, and here we can see the example. So normally we used to have earlier to give 30 seconds to write down, maybe digest what he has shared. So I will give you 30 seconds to digest what he has shared, and maybe you can also give him feedback directly, whatever you want to give. So I will give you 30 seconds. So now it's the time for the third speaker, and third speaker is Toastmaster Vaishali. And before I call Toastmaster Vaishali, I would like to call her evaluator, Toastmaster Shriram. So Toastmaster Shriram.
theme of the day is purpose of life. My target speaker is Vaishali, and the purpose of her speech is a unique one. Her chosen pathway is persuasive influence. This pathway is used for people who want to improve their leadership skills and influence people during their leadership journey. Her speech today is from the level 1, project 4. Before this, she has given 3 speeches, which is level 1, project 1, icebreaker, project 2, working on a body language, project 3, working on a vocal variety. Her purpose of today's speech is to present a speech and receive feedback from it, and also to use this feedback and to improve the speech. So there are 2 objectives. Plus, there is a 3rd objective for this project. Also, she has to perform a speech evaluator role later in part of this meeting, later in part of our meetings. I, as an evaluator, to give a good feedback, I will be evaluating on 7 key factors. 7 key factors are clarity, which what clarity is bringing to speech, and then will be a vocal variety, what emotions she is bringing out through her speech tones and modulations, and eye contact, what she is maintaining with the audience. Next is gestures, how well she is using a body language to bring out those emotions. 5th one would be audience awareness, how well she is engaging with the audience and how well she is making the audience grip to the speech. Next is the comfort level, how well she is comfortable on the stage and whether she is fidgeting or any other things which is distracting her or the audience from the speech. And last one, how interesting is the speech. I know the topic, it is quite an intriguing one, and I will give over to Surya Modi to introduce it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So Toastmaster Vaishali, she was playing a role of PM Modi some days before, and that I was able to see the flowers coming from her mouth when she was telling the story of 2 sisters, death and life. Her imaginations are too good for me. She is coach for me as of now. Anyways, so she works as a manager in a healthcare organization. She loves to paint and has a big sweet tooth. When I asked that what is her purpose in life is, then she said, my purpose is to give back more than what I got from nature, helping underprivileged children and stray animals make me feel I am inching more towards my purpose. So Toastmaster Vaishali. Toastmaster Vaishali, pressure cooker, Toastmaster Vaishali.
A sudden and intense wave of fear. The person feels like that they are not able to breathe. Something is turning in their stomach and the chest feels restricted. And the mind feels like that it is just about to explode like a pressure cooker. That's what an anxiety attack feels like, which is what Soumya is having just at this moment at her workplace. But what led to this anxiety attack in the first place? Let's go back an year and see. So Soumya has always been a hardworking and ambitious person, determined to exceed in every aspect of her life. She had a great job, just got a promotion, had a very successful Instagram business as well, very supportive and loving family, and a close-knit group of friends as well. Seems a perfect life from outside, doesn't it? But no. Inside, Soumya was struggling. Her job was very demanding with tight deadlines. And on the top of it, the promotion that she had got meant higher expectations and greater responsibilities as well. Her Instagram business took her time day and night. So as a result, Soumya was always busy, chasing deadlines, trying to push herself harder and harder, being better and achieve that next goal. Whenever she was with her family or friends, she was never there. Her mind was always racing, trying to think about work, or worrying about the next thing that she has to do. Slowly and steadily, this pressure got to her. She lost her sleep, she started to feel anxious, and worse, started to feel irritable with the people that she loved the most, her family and friends. Soumya was definitely overworked and overwhelmed. Soumya wanted to scream for help, but was unable to admit it. So, one day, but Soumya was just unable to admit it because she thought that she is supposed to handle everything by herself. Isn't everyone else doing just the same? Soumya then started to compare herself with her friends. Look at my friend, she has a daughter, she is a successful director at her company, super successful. If she can do it, then why can't I? So as these doubts started to put in, her confidence gave way. And soon the early signs of depression started to come in. And there was she, in her workplace, battling the worst anxiety attack that she has ever experienced. So Soumya's experience is not unique. I am sure every one of you must have felt these experiences at least once in their life. Mental pressure and mental stress is like a burden which is invisible, which is only visible until it becomes too much to handle, too much pressure to handle. Stress actually comes and manifests in a variety of ways: depression, physical illness, burnout, and of course anxiety. So that chronic illness that you are having might be having their seeds in stress. So what to do? Well, we actually live in the world where stress is actually the second wave of life. So is there anything that we can do? Let's see what Soumya did. So after that panic attack that she had, she actually felt that now she needs help. She is not able to do it by herself. So Soumya sought out a therapist, and through her, she found out that her reason for stress was not the the workload or the deadlines. It was the constant pressure that she was putting on herself. The constant pressure of being perfect. The constant pressure of comparing with others. The constant pressure to do more and more and to just be perfect. So with guidance and with support, Soumya was able to put healthy boundaries for herself. Soumya was able to say no in certain circumstances and was able to recognize the early signs of stress before it became too much. So as Soumya was able to manage her stress, I'm sure that we all can. Whenever the pressure becomes too much to handle, it's okay to feel overwhelmed. Asking for help at those times is actually a sign of strength and not weakness. Whenever the pressure becomes too much to handle, it's okay to take a step back, take a deep breath, and think that we are not there to carry the burden of the world on our shoulders. It's okay to listen to our bodies. It's okay to listen to our minds. It's absolutely okay to take rest, to listen to ourselves, and live life to the fullest. So one of the philosophies that actually helped me a lot when I was myself struggling with a period of stress was that in the end, it is going to end. Everything is going to end. You, yourself, your feelings, everything around you. Nothing is permanent. So I leave you with this thought that life is to be lived and not ran. So savor it like an ice cream before it melts. Thank you.
So please write down or maybe observe or maybe digest whatever she has said for 30 seconds.
Great.
So here we can see the difference, the pressure and passion. If we have passion about something, we'll never come into pressure. It will become a pleasure. Right? So that can happen only once one has the purpose. Right? So if I have purpose in my life and I'm feeling it, it will never give me any kind of pressure. Because it's okay to fail. Right? Because once you have big purpose, then you can fail, it's not a big deal. Okay, so let us come back to our theme, that was what is the purpose of life. And I hope that you met with your best friend. How many of you really met with your best friend? Please raise your hands. Okay, so how many of you are ready to share all those things to this friend, right, which you could not have even shared to your best friend? Right? So that is very important that we will be going to next stage. It is very important to write down our priorities. What are our priorities? And how much time we are giving to our priorities? Whether we have made it important and make into our priority list to jot down the objective or maybe purpose of my life. How many of you have made it a priority item of your life that it is important for me to write down the purpose of my life? How many of you have spent time on this? Good. Only one hand, two hands. So let us first write down that this is a priority item for us to write down our purpose, right? So we normally spend a lot of time in wasting, like this fourth quadrant, which is low priority items, Instagram, all those social media items. So we need to prioritize this, and this is one target which I am giving to you, is to write down the purpose of your life and give genuine time for this objective. And third, which is most important, is we have to live in community, right? And in community, what happens that when we declare something, people will come up of like-minded people, they will support you on your objective or maybe your purpose. You may be able to find out your society, like Toastmaster Bhavesh was saying, that he was trying to find out the community which he really belongs to. Maybe he has that kind of similar aspect or similar thoughts, or maybe like-minded people, or maybe like-minded work. And what he rightly said at the last was that seed has the power to make a forest. That is what you have, that cascading power in you to make a forest from your own purpose. Now, I would like all of you to follow some steps with your friend to whom you just met, and write down what you love to do. Write down 5 things what you love to do. Please write down only 5 things which you love to do.
Can be anything.
Anything. Like I love to play cricket, I love to play volleyball, maybe whatever you want. It's all your what. When you feel that you love to do, singing, playing mouth organ like me for me. Write down 4 things. And be honest with your friend whom you met just now. You're not writing. No issue. It's your journey. Right? And second thing which you need to write is what you are good at it. In which area you are good. No, this can be different. This can be separate, maybe different items. Maybe I can give you an example that Sachin Tendulkar want to sing a song, but he love playing cricket. So this is contrast difference, right? So here what I love to do and what I good at, right? So write down 5 things which you want to write. So if what I love to do and I want to do, if they match together, it becomes your passion, and you will never come under pressure. I was hearing Kapil Dev's one speech very recently that he was telling, if you are under pressure, don't play, no? Why are you playing? Why are you telling us? We used to play for fun, for pleasure. We will never come under pressure. Right? So this is what happens when I love to do and what I am good at. So it becomes our passion. So third thing which is very important to know is that what I can be paid for. What are those things there in you for which you can earn your earnings, or maybe living, or maybe you can be paid off? Write down 5 things, not much more because we don't have much time. Because don't feel that this is one-time exercise. This takes a lot of time, weeks, maybe sometime months to explore yourself. You have been exploring outside the world through net, through Google, and hypothesis happening to you. But it's time to go inside and find out that for what I can be paid for. Write down 5 things. Be honest to your friend. And what you are good at, and if somebody is ready to pay you, becomes your profession. Like doctors, engineers, they are being paid because they are good at some area. Artists, whosoever it is. So that becomes your profession. And the last circle or last task which I am giving to you is to write down that what world need or what world is looking for. Maybe that is in demand or not. What is being looked for. So write down what are the expectations of the world.
Expectations can be unlimited. Do we have to define
World,
it?
what is the requirement of the world? Maybe data scientists are required, maybe artists are required, maybe Olympians are required nowadays for
For
India.
example, Olympics and these athletes are required in country
In India.
as in India. And it's not, neither I am good at it, neither I like to be an athlete, or I cannot be paid for because I am
Write down, maybe you might find something which is required.
related to our lives.
You make a list of what is required.
What the world is.
What the pain area of the world, what the pain area of business, what the pain area of society. From there you will get problem statement actually. And that will become vocation. And where you are able to list down or jot down the common things between passion, profession, vocation, and this, then you will find the word mission. This one, sorry, I got missed one thing, that is what you want to love and what is required in the world is called as mission. You can easily you are ready to get the problem solved. You can make that as a mission of your life. And once these 4 things are meeting, like passion, profession, vocation, and mission, that will become your ikigai. So ikigai is a Japanese word. It has 2 words actually inside. There's iki and gai. Iki means life and gai means purpose. What's life purpose? So this tool can help us in identifying our purpose in life. Once I have done this exercise 6 years before, I was able to drive who I am. So what I was that point in time, 6 years before, I am one who listen for and reliably delivers that which makes a real difference in which people are dealing with and what they really care about. And in the process, leave them transformed with more power, full self-expression and peace of mind. That was the statement which I was able to drive when I was doing this exercise for myself. Then 3 years later, I have done again this exercise. So what I jot down all those things which I love. Then I jot down all those things which I good at, and then what I should be paid for, and then what are the problems, what are the world looking for. And I was able to make a statement out of it was that I want to be a professional who is known as a solution provider in manufacturing or operations in achieving better bottom line. So productivity improvement kind of things. From last 3 years, I've been living these words as a purpose for me. Now I'm again in the search of evolving myself again with the different priorities. So that will come up with another statement. So that will again drive me to do something and don't come to the pressure. I should be in pleasure. So thank you very much for giving your time for this kind of exercise. And I hope that this exercise can help us to find out our purpose. And one purpose for India is to become developed country by 2047. So we can list down what I can contribute in achieving those things, those targets, or maybe that purpose of India, right? So now it's time for second section, and that is table topic section. And for table topic section, Toastmaster Bharti is here with her bag of table topics. So I will give her the top table so that she can keep the topics on the table. I will give it to you. That's why it will become table. So table topics. Thank you.
Bhavish, can you pass me a bottle? Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. So I welcome you all to the most spontaneous session of our meeting, table topics. And I think this is where we actually need to step out of our comfort zones. So without wasting much of time, let me start with the session. I have this bag. I have some slips in this bag. There are some, I have written a question on each of the slip. A speaker has to come, will choose a slip. I'll read out that question for him or her. And there is some twist in it. The speaker must talk for 1 to 2 minutes on the question I have written on the slip, but he or she doesn't have to reply to the question. So he has to talk about the question, around the question, but under no circumstances should be replying to the question. I think it's clear? Inscrutable it is now? Okay. I'll give you an example. Suppose, if I ask, what color is this? So you don't have to say pink. Rather, you have to talk. You can talk about how colors are important in our lives, or there are other colors also. Things like that. Okay, let me start the session. So, who is our first warrior? Any member who can volunteer to come? Yeah.
Can we flip the question?
You have to choose one slip.
Yeah.
There are
No, like in KBC, you know, flip the question.
yeah, no. You have to be around the question. Yeah, please. What is more important, having fun or being successful? What is more important, having fun or being successful?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the twist in the table topic session, and it's quite fascinating and keeps our mind behind their toes. The question that I got is like, is it important to be happy or being successful? I don't know how much can be related to this, but I relate to this question much more because just 2 meetings back I gave the exact same topic as my prepared speech. So I had a lot of thought behind this. And ever since I have been thinking, and I always wanted, and even in my speech, I wanted to leave everyone with the same question, that what is something that you want? Rather than finding the answer, let the question guide you. Everyone thinks achieving something or getting on your feet, or like maybe you may be earning money, maybe that might be a goal, but are you enjoying it? That is a question that we should ask to ourselves and find what the purpose of our life is. Rather than just speculating that this is something everyone wants me to do, or this is what I'll be happy to do it. You should find the question that will give you the answer for what the topic of our day, the purpose of your life is. So I would like to take this opportunity to make you all think that rather than finding the answer, try to think in a way that will guide you to achieve, or sorry, the word achieve is not something I should use, to find what is something that you are meant to do or you want to do. And it's still a question, not an answer. Thank you.
I was constantly looking for some answer to your question, but yes, you succeeded in conveying your. Yeah. Any guest who can volunteer? Yeah. Where would you like to time travel? Back to the past or to the future? Where would you like to time travel? Back to past or the future?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bharti. So when I heard this question, where would you like to time travel? Back to the past or ahead to the future? Before even coming to what a possible answer could be, I try to understand why would someone even time travel at all, to the back or to the future as well. Now, if we try to think about why we would want to time travel, I think it might root to the fact that you're not satisfied with where you are in the present. That causes you to either retrospect about your past or try to think of something to look forward for the future. So if I think about today's theme, which the Toastmaster today has been talking about, which is about the purpose of life, I think understanding the purpose of life would help us be grounded at where we are and be grateful in the present. So you wouldn't even come to the point in life where you have to decide which one to go back. Now, this question reminds me of a book that I read once. It's called The Midnight Library. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. So the concept in that book is that every book in that library of life tells you the story of your life in terms of what could have been had you taken a particular choice at a point in time. And that's how you explore the different aspects of your life. Now, when I read that book, I did realize that looking at the back or to the future is pointless in a way, because every choice that you've made leads you to where you are in the point where you are today. And finally, if you think about your past regrets and you try to minimize that, you might just erase the person that you are at all. So I think in conclusion, what I'd like to say is stay grounded in your present, and maybe you won't even have to answer the question.
Any member now?
No, go ahead.
Welcome to Toastmasters.
Thank you, Ajay.
opinion matters most to you? Whose opinion matters most to you?
As we go along in life, whether you're doing right or you're doing wrong, the world has to comment. And their comments are based on their relationship of you, their respect for you, or the criticism of you. So invariably you're subjected to a lot of things that are happening. And it's a situation where, sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Whose opinion?
Whose opinion matters to you most?
So, you are basically a product of your own action, the state you are in, and your passion, as they said, once you find your reasoning. And as you go along with your own belief and your feeling, you are not worried about what others have to say. I read a book long time back called Psycho-Cybernetics, and it says that if you have a passion or a mission in life where you want to reach, and if that's the goal and destination you're standing here, then whether you move this way or you move to the left or to the right, then the turn comes like the Google guides you, and you eventually reach your destination. So if you're fixated by what you're doing, and your conscience is telling you, and you're moving in the direction of your chosen target, then others' opinions don't matter.
Any volunteer? Yeah, please. Welcome to our day. Yeah, welcome. Please choose one. Why do you think weekends feel so short? Why do you think weekends feel so short? All the best.
Have all of you heard the term Monday blues?
Yes.
Why do you think we feel that? Because the weekends are short. But the reason for that is on the 5 days for the week from 9 to 5 when we are literally working 8 hours a day, 40-hour work week. We wake up in the morning at 9 o'clock, at 6 o'clock actually. We wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock, get ready for the work, do our basic hygiene things, and get ready to go to work at 8 o'clock and reach office by 9. Then we work regularly to 8 to 5, get tired with our work, come back home and sleep. This is the daily routine that most of the people in corporate lives have. I am also working in a corporate life, but I'm just doing work from home. So I think I'm quite lucky in that because I have the frequency to do other things as well. But anyway, when we do this regular work, we don't really have time for anything. We don't spend time on ourselves. We don't spend time finding what our purpose of our lives is. Also, along with that, we don't spend a lot of time communicating with our friends or family. We just have a regular routine, and we don't even give time towards our mental health, physical health, and even our hobbies. And what we decide to do is that we'll earn the 5 days of the week, and we'll spend every productive time that we want to do in 2 days that we have, which is basically on a Saturday or a Sunday. So it's like our hobbies, family times, watching a comedy show, watching movies, we all decide to do on a weekend. And when we are not able to do any of that, then we feel upset because we can't really fit in a plethora of work that we want to do in just 2 days a week, and hence the weekends feel so short. Thank you.
Next guest. Who is your go-to person for any advice? Who is your go-to person for any advice?
So, advices, right? I mean, a lot of people when they are trying to find a way around some situation that they are not dealt with, they're looking for some information and they're trying to see where do I find a solution. So advisors are perhaps the direction that we're looking for. How do we go ahead and maybe figure out something, or maybe reach, find maybe a shortcut, maybe a spiritual exploration to understand why somebody is in a certain situation, or understand themselves better and maybe figure out what is the right question to ask in the moment. So advice perhaps can be itself not a solution but a question that the person has not pondered upon, maybe a perspective that person has been missing, maybe a outside perspective that would enhance the way they are trying to analyze what they need to do. Maybe people depend on their friends, maybe books, maybe even philosophical meditation, like just writing it down and understanding what they are going through, and just go through their understand from their experience which they might understand.
Any guest now? Yeah. Guest. Who would you want to be by your side in a crisis? Who would you want to be by your side in a crisis? All the best.
You know, I was just speaking with a friend of mine, asking what to expect in a Toastmasters meeting, and he said that it's very clear. Once you step on the stage, you forget about anything else. It's a very inscrutable question, and one really does need to have their pulse on speaking on stage. Seeking advice, for someone to really seek advice, one needs to be in a situation where he's really looking for comfort. And I believe that maybe looking for, one needs to, if one has the purpose of life sorted, maybe they can rely on themselves for comfort, and instead of looking outside, rather one can really look in and find a solution to the problem that they're in. So that's how I think.
Yes. Any member? Please. How would you describe your perfect weekend? How would you describe your perfect weekend?
Please repeat the question.
How would you describe perfect weekend? Your perfect weekend.
Sometimes the life feels so long because there is so much that you are trying to do that you did not want to do. The idea is not to be able to achieve so much in life. The idea is to be able to do what defines and what aligns with your purpose. And what we just saw in the presentation today, what I love to do, where my passions lie, and what exactly my mission is. So many a times I tell my friends I have only 3 passions in life. Some of those are about finer pleasures of life, and some of those are for a higher spiritual need. I go on to live my life every day just trying to be with them. Every day when I meet a friend, there are certain things that I like to do. When I spend time with my family, there are certain things that I like to do. And all of those are just around those three things. You find whiskey bottle in a foreign location with family or a friend. And if I could live my life like that, this whole life is just a perfect meal.
We have time? Any guest here? Sorry. Any guest or any member? Anybody?
Yes. Please come.
Yeah. Whose company would you choose for a long trip? Whose company would you choose for a long trip? On the next.
A long trip. It's always tough to decide where to go. Always I want to go to Goa with my friends, which never happened. I think you can all resonate with the statement what I just made. And if I have to decide where I have to go, and even if I have decided where I have to go, then I have to decide with whom I have to go. That is another toughest thing, because I'm a problematic guy. I'm hygienic one side, on the other day, I'm unhygienic on the other side. I have to find a person who can cope up with both my faces. Have I ever found them? Have I ever found them? Have I ever they born? Or are they yet to born? No one knows. I had made a quest in my life to find the perfect partner for a journey of my life. I have never succeeded. Will I be succeeding for a journey of a place? Yes, definitely. I have succeeded on this. I met him very recently. He was a very great guy. He was also hygienic on the other side, unhygienic on the other end. He was punctual on one day, punctual on the other day. He hates tea, he loves coffee. It's none other myself. I love solo traveling, and I do it, and I intend to do in the next days to come. Thank you.
That's all for today's session. I think everybody is a winner. Everybody tried not to answer the questions. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. 3 minutes of break. So we'll take a break of 3 minutes, then go ahead. Break of 3 minutes.